Hello and welcome, as it is the 22nd day of November 2017. Hashtag crypto trading, everything you do within your own risk, own reward. And I'm going to talk very little about this Bitcoin chart because it's the same status as what I was stating last night. I don't expect it to do what it's doing, at least not for that much longer. And that is to grind its way higher, basically just grind this line like you're seeing. You need an uptrend, higher lows and higher highs to do it. But to not stay that, for it to stay a little bit above it, at it, or a little bit below it, would be grinding its way higher, and I don't think that's going to happen. For the last few days, it's been grinding its way higher. All right, then. I have been myself trading in different currencies, but I've been talking about buying low, selling high. This is the Bitcoin one, and there's been only small changes. I've added Core and BTG, Bitcoin Gold. As yesterday, what occurred on Bitcoin Gold was it first appeared. That was big news. Oh, this is BitFinex. Okay. It's been on BitFinex for even a lot longer than that. But on BITTREX, this is all there is. So let's shorten up the time frame to the 1 hour. I end up getting out, I think up here, I 35-ish area. 35 change, 35.6, 36.1, something around that. And I ended up buying a little bit of it back, roughly where it is now in the 30 number, but not much, not much. Only a normal position size, actually, and I was given a lot more in that sense. Therefore, I have a couple sell orders up here. I'm going to sell here. Going to sell there, and I'll sell 5 different lots like normal, and I'll even buy lower, although I don't see my buy orders on here, but I do have buy orders filled a bit lower than this. Now Core, I've already had a sell order come in with that. Let me just bring up its chart, and this is the 1 hour time frame. I end up buying on this bottom. A buy order appeared for me. I was like, sweet, this good code to add towards this list. I was meaning to talk about it, and it just had this move towards this sell target. So that was sold. Let me show the spreadsheets again. And when we go to the actual main core part, it was bought at 35,020 satoshi. And I sold about 20% of it at 49,717. So that's basically what I'm just looking to do, is buy low, sell high. As you see, 49.17 was the sale. And now I'm going to move this to my next appropriate sell number, which I can see is in at 24,000, I think. No, it's 35,000 I see as my sell by buy order, which makes sense to be at previous low. I already have 24,000 in here already. There's that 24,000 buy order here. So I have a sell order at 74. I have a sell order here at this previous high or area. It's just incrementally higher, incrementally lower. I am looking to buy and looking to sell. So those are the ones that are added towards the Bitcoin one. So I am trading DGB, EOS, GAS, Mana, Golden, Peseta, QTUM, THC, Tokes, UBQ, Wings, Zen, Core, and Bitcoin Gold. Within the Litecoin trading, ABY, ARC, B3, BK Cat, Can, Abyss, Komodo, Nav, Neo, OMG, ORME, PIVX, Smart, XBY, XMR, Verge, and ZEIT. And Ethereum, I'm adding a bunch more. I'm just adding one and some of them into this. And I don't even have a main section yet. I have, just for now, 6. These numbers will be going higher. I've already had a buy and a sell within Monero already. It's so great. Just going to move some of these columns so they're smaller. I added some Monero into it. I got Monero against Litecoin as well. At least I should. Or against Bitcoin. I do against Bitcoin, but it's not written down, so that's it. Because not everything that I've got written down my Bitcoin one, but most of it is trading this way. So I'm selling 1/5 of what I have documented in here. So I have 3. I didn't put a rake in because I already owned them. So it's like whatever. But I did put 0.2% of a rake in here. Selling 0.6 for about a quarter of an ETH. And the price was in at 0.44 almost. So I'm looking to buy it back at 0.35. And I'm also doing this against XLM, Lumen, Strat, Ethereum Classic, Dash, and CVC. I'm just entering, like making these spreadsheets right now, just early phases. But it's all in internal use basis. So let's go back to some charts again. And we're looking at Monero against the euro. Okay, well, it's looking good against the euro, but I want to see against the ETH. I just typed in that, and I would have pushed that by mistake. But here's the situation in here. The way I figure is my whole strategy is to just buy and sell like this, regardless of what your base currency is, to increase such. I like holding Ethereum. I think it's something good to have for the long-term time frame. Definitely such within Litecoin. And if I can buy and sell different things like this, then why the heck not? That's what I've decided to do. And this way I can try to increase my Ethereum totals and even Litecoin totals within its market as well. So that's like fantastic to be able to do such. But I also believe in markets that, as Mike Maloney states, it's one of the better things to do is to sell overvalue asset classes for undervalued ones. And when we look at things like Bitcoin versus its competition, the main ones like the Monero, the Ethereums, the Litecoins, the Dashes, all those other ones, Bitcoin's been kicking like some serious butt and destroying the competition over the last several months, making it become overvalued and these other ones coming undervalued. So holding these types of coins like the Ethereum and Dash and all that, to me, makes sense. And this gives me some avenues to be able to do so much more freely, better in this sense. So that's something that I like about this play. But the strategy that I talk about within the buy low, sell high, it basically does that for itself within it, because naturally speaking, whenever you're buying something, like say I'm looking at Lumen versus Ethereum, if there's ever a spot where Lumen becomes overvalued against most asset classes, and definitely in this case what it's traded against, then it's naturally going to go up against it, where sell orders within the strategy come into play. And that's telling you that the asset class is rising, becoming more overvalued at that time. So I like to do liquidating out of some, sometimes all, but usually just some, at that point. And Then when you have situations when, say, your base currency is going down, like, say, Ethereum. If Ethereum is just going lower, 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 then these markets priced in against it are going to be going higher. So essentially what you are doing is you are buying Ethereum, your base currency, when it's undervalued, and you are selling something, well, and then if it's overvalued because it's doing well, it does it for you. And then when Ethereum is going higher, 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 or your base currency is, then the alternate coins that you're betting against might go lower. And when they're overvalued, that's when you buy. So all these altcoins have been going lower against Bitcoin throughout the entire year, at least for the entire latter half of this year. That's because Bitcoin has went from like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 to like 8,200. So naturally, playing this strategy over the last few months has been giving you more buy situations and sell situations because Bitcoin has been becoming overvalued. And with the altcoins lagging against the US dollar, thus they're more undervalued. Now, one way I like to look at this as well too, if you're buying different coins and you want to maybe sell it in something else, it's a good idea at times. Say, like for example, with the core, I bought that against Bitcoin, but I'm like, just because I bought it with Bitcoin, I can sell it against another currency. Nope, they don't let me sell it against Ethereum. So I would have put my sell orders against that. But that doesn't stop me from, say, buying Lumen with Bitcoin and selling it to Ethereum. Buying Litecoin with Bitcoin and selling it to Ethereum or anything of that nature. Maybe I can buy Ripple with Bitcoin and then put it on the Litecoin exchange. You can buy with one coin, sell it against another. That's what I like about this as well. Now let's go back to the Bitcoin chart. I don't got the trend lines on here. This is on the Bitstamp exchange. I use trend lines when I'm looking at the Kraken or the Bitfinex exchange, I think. Anyway, I want to go on this on the very long-term time frame when Bitstamp has the nicest long-term time frame chart on this here. So back in 2012, yeah, $2. Then it goes up to $5. Then it goes up to about a dozen. And a nice breakout. That's just your typical everyday run-of-the-mill breakout of a little over $10 and make it to over 200. Nice consolidation around 100. And then you break that 100 and go to 1,000. Just your typical 10x moves. What I want to talk first about these 10x moves. This was early infancy Bitcoin 10x moves. So when we're seeing all these other alternate coins getting 10x moves against Bitcoin and the dollar and such, don't be surprised if after they have it, and I'm talking about all these coins like Litecoin and Ethereum that have went up big, that its next nice rally might be at a lower rate of ascent, which is fine, I think normal as well. But let's furthermore talk about the prices in the real world against the fiat currencies, US dollar, Canadian dollars, euros, yens, whatever it might be. It's, I think, relatively safe to say that inflation throughout my entire lifetime has remained consistently true. Consistently true. Some products will remain the same price for a long period of time and then jump up. Stay that price, then jump higher, and so on and so forth. There has never really been much of deflation other than particular items. Computers have a run at the end of the 1990s, started 2000s when they get really expensive and they get really cheap. I mean, specific things will happen here and there. That's normal in market economy. But the price of lunches, the price of food at the grocery store, I know gasoline changes on a market base, but overall, your net cost that you have your everyday living expenditures on a month-to-month basis just go up here and there. And when that's the case and these Bitcoin markets move like this, you can really feel a world of major deflation. Because if you're in a situation Where earlier on, you had back Bitcoin prices at 1,100, and now they're at like 8,200. So they're almost 8 times higher. When most food products or most things that you buy are around the same price as it was then, maybe a little bit more, but enough where paying in Bitcoin, it becomes like a discount to buy. Even more so when you consider what it was like, say, years back when it was $300 and $200. Oh, sure, a lot of other products may have increased. You might notice that your monthly bill cost are up maybe 5 or whatever percent in that time. But Bitcoin prices have done well to play through. But the point of this is every single one of these legs higher that have been coming into play have been doing so without any real noticeable world inflation. And as long as that keeps happening, that makes these gains in the cryptos occur very spectacular. But we're seeing hyperinflationary type of moves looking to reach the peak of the door. This year, Bitcoin has been maintaining for the last little while a trend that doubles every few weeks, which is early stages of hyperinflation, really, of decent stages towards it. And as I look at it, if the rarity of real-world hyperinflation is to ever happen in the near term, where things just go parabolic crazy, then I think it's safe to say that Bitcoin prices are going to skyrocket from where they happen to be. But until things stay normal in the real world, which they kind of are, then the market's just going to keep moving up and down, and every single time a decent size leg higher comes in, then that really helps create your money growth, your wealth increases because of the obvious situation. Furthermore, as we see this, we're seeing this against the US dollar Bitcoin doing well. The world's in the same sort of situation state over the last few months, years, everything. There's no signs yet of gasoline costing $10 a gallon. There's no signs yet of your everyday lunch costing $49. That's not in place yet, or any type of real world hyperinflation. So therefore, markets should continue to move as they always normally would, and any gains that one gets will be notified, like, oh, like markets go up this, I'm gonna really feel these gains because real world prices aren't changing too much. Let me take a look at these codes against the US dollar. Let me just go to Litecoin next because I haven't had that on for a few days. They're undervalued against the dollar in comparison to how Bitcoin is. So therefore, this is an easy decision for me to get out of it and into more. And even though I got a good Litecoin holding, just looking at this wants me to think, maybe I should get me some more. I like how it's been in this sideways range for a while. I like over the last few days how this has been holding and staying above this key-ish $60 and change level, riding the 18 average of highs. These are the things that are the pre-indicators for big moves. But as I've been mentioning for the last little while, it's just been going sideways while Bitcoin has been going magnificently higher. Furthermore, when you have these rallies against the dollar that break key levels, like we've seen back in here, that means regardless of what Bitcoin is going to do when you're having extreme breakouts against such, it's going to go up against Bitcoin. And we've seen during the spring of this year, where Bitcoin was going higher, 1,500, 1,800, 2,000, 2,500. It was making increases in gains, as were the alternate coins, because Litecoin was doing this. So in April, from April 5th, or start of April, Litecoin goes from $4 and change and then shoots up 6 times. Not bad. Where Bitcoin, from the start of April, from the start of April, it goes from like a little over 1,100 and it goes to like, well, 1,500. Not bad. It didn't go up 6 times or 5 times. No, it went up about 30 or 40%. So when these other markets go up insane large amounts, it's unlikely we're going to see Bitcoin prices anywhere near 30, 40,000 to substify other codes going up 3, 4, 5 times. So that's why I think when you see markets having amazing breakout patterns against the US dollar, especially when you see it where it can break a previous key high where it's been congesting sideways, correcting that area for a big length of time like Litecoin's been doing, that they can really, really go. And then you got to ask yourself the question, as I was mentioning within this, on the more long-term chart, is it going to be like Litecoin's last move when it had its big gain was like this? It just goes straight high. Is it going to do another one of those ones? Because quite frankly, if there's about 115 to 1 ratio with Litecoin, it most certainly, in my opinion, could have a move against the dollar, Litecoin that is similar to those pushes that happened in 2013. Time, of course, will tell. All right. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.